Okay, let's just dive right in. If you've ever found yourself standing in an auto parts store, just staring at a massive wall of bottles all screaming showroom shine, you know how overwhelming it can be. Well, today we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're breaking down the science and the real-world results to help you find the absolute perfect buffing compound for your car. So here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle why you're even here, the problem itself. Then, we'll get a little nerdy with the science inside the bottle, introduce the top products for 2025, and I'll share 3 pro tips that'll work with any compound you choose. And finally, we'll deliver the verdict on which one is the right choice for you.
All right, Section 1, the paint correction problem. This is really the starting line for everyone, whether you're a seasoned pro or just a weekend warrior trying to make your ride look its best.
Yeah, does this look a little too familiar? That spider web of swirl marks you get from the automatic car wash, maybe a few deeper scratches you can't stop staring at, or just that dull, hazy, oxidized look that's totally robbing your car of its color? This is exactly what we're here to fix.
You know, this quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. You're at a crossroads. One path is just learning to live with paint that you're not happy with. The other path, it's diving headfirst into this huge market of products that are all making some pretty big promises. Our goal today is to give you a crystal clear map for that second path.
Let's move on to Section 2, because before we even look at a single brand name, we've got to understand the technology that's actually in the bottle. Trust me, knowing what's happening on a microscopic level is the secret to getting those pro-level results.
It all comes down to one thing: abrasive technology. The easiest way to think about it is like microscopic sandpaper, literally, suspended in a lotion. These tiny, tiny particles are what physically grind down an invisible layer of your car's clear coat, making it perfectly flat again. And that's how the scratches just disappear. It's how you get that deep shine back.
Now, this right here is probably the most important thing to get your head around. There are 2 main philosophies. On the left, you've got DAT, or diminishing abrasive technology. Think of these like little jagged rocks that, as you work them, break down into superfine sand. You have to work it for the full cycle to get that perfect finish. On the right, you have SMAT, which is pretty much the modern standard. These abrasives are all uniform and they don't break down. They just cut consistently from the second you start to the second you stop. This makes them way faster and more predictable, which is exactly why almost all the new formulas are using this tech.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's get to the main event. Section 3, the 2025 contenders. This is where we take all that science and see how it plays out with real products that have been put through their paces in the real world. Kicking things off is the team's absolute favorite all-arounder, Griot's Garage Boss Fast Correcting Cream. This stuff just consistently finds that perfect sweet spot between raw power and delicate finesse.
And the numbers really show you why. It's got a seriously strong cut, that's its power to remove scratches, and an 8 out of 10. But here's the shocker. The finish, the level of gloss it leaves behind, is a 9 out of 10. For a heavy-hitting compound, that is just incredible. It means on some cars, you might even get to skip the final polishing step altogether. Add in the fact that it has almost 0 dust, and it's super easy to wipe off, and you've got a hands-down winner for user experience.
But, and this is a big but, it's not perfect for everybody. First, it comes with a pretty premium price tag. And second, on very soft paint, like what you'd find on a Subaru, it can be just a little too aggressive if you're not paying attention. So that's the heads up. Okay, so what if you're dealing with ridiculously hard paint? Well, that's when you need to bring out the heavy artillery. Meet contender number 2, the German tank, Koch Chemie H9.02. Just look at that cut rating, a perfect 10 out of 10. This compound will absolutely demolish deep scratches on hard German clear coats that other products won't even make a dent in. But look at the trade-off. The finish is only a 6 out of 10. This thing is a pure workhorse. You absolutely have to follow it up with a finishing polish to refine that surface. It's not optional.
And listen up, because this warning from the source is serious. This is not for beginners, and it's not for cars with soft paint. Using this stuff on a Honda Civic is like using a sledgehammer to hang a picture frame. It's a specialist tool, and you have to respect the power it has.
So what if you're on the other end of the spectrum? What if you do have one of those cars with soft, tricky paint? Or you're chasing that ultimate dripping wet look on a black car? Well, that is where our third contender shines, Sonic's Perfect Finish.
The numbers here tell a totally different story. The cut is really light, only a 4 out of 10, but the finish? A perfect 10. This is the stuff you use to get rid of that last little bit of haze and create a depth and clarity that's just unmatched. It's basically the industry standard for soft, sticky paint, and it's legendary for what it can do on black cars.
But let's be crystal clear about its job. This is not a heavy-duty problem solver. It's a finishing polish. It's the jewel in the crown. If your car has deep defects, you have to use a heavier compound first. Sonix is that final, magical step that makes the paint just pop.
Okay, awesome. Let's switch gears from products to process. Section 4 is all about 3 universal tips that will seriously level up your results no matter which bottle you end up choosing.
These tips are pure gold. First, if your compound ever gets sticky and gummy on soft paint, just wipe it with a damp towel before you use your dry one. It works like magic. Second, clean your polishing pad after every single section. Clogged pads are what cause those annoying little curly scratches they call pigtails. And third, this is the moment of truth. After you think you're done buffing, wipe the area down with an isopropyl alcohol mix. This strips away any of the oils in the compound that might be hiding fine scratches. It shows you the true, honest-to-goodness result of your work.
And that brings us to the home stretch, the final verdict. We've looked at the problem, the science behind the shine, the best products on the market, and the techniques to get the most out of them. Now it's time to put it all together.
So which one is for you? It really comes down to choosing the right tool for the job. For the best overall balance of power, finish, and just pure user-friendliness, Griot's Garage Boss is the top pick for most people. If you're tackling deep scratches on that tough German paint, you need the raw, unapologetic power of Koch Chemie H9.02. And if you're chasing that flawless, ultimate wet look finish, especially on soft or black paint, Sonix Perfect Finish is in a league of its own.
Look, the technology and the products out there today are better than they have ever been. The only thing standing between your car and a flawless, mirror-like finish is a little bit of knowledge and the right bottle. Your car's perfect finish is just waiting to be uncovered. The real question is, are you ready to reveal it?